Hi, I'm going to play on the English concertina, a reel called the Fermoy Lasses. This is aimed to help beginners on the English concertina. I'm just going to show 2 or 3 possible different ways that you can use to ornament on a reel. Generally speaking, I'd keep it as simple as possible on the reel and try and just use single grace notes. But there are a couple of other things that you can do, short rolls and double grace notes. I'll try and illustrate this for you now. Please bear in mind also that I'm playing an English concertina, so my phrasing is going to be quite different from an Anglo concertina. The key is that the tune, the Fermoy Lasses, starts in E minor and the second part goes to G. And I like to emphasize this, and I'll show you how I do this later on after I've explained the first part with the ornamentation. So that's a short roll there, right at the beginning. On the E note I play an F sharp, an E, a D and an E. We'll try and do that again and play it through once or twice for you. So that's the first part of the Fermoy Lasses, using an F grace note before the E and a D after, and then playing the E. So I'm playing F sharp, E, D, E, using 2 grace notes. Now I'm going to play it just using 1 grace note there. So I'm using an F sharp, the note above the E. Now that's the easiest thing to use, especially when reels are going very fast. Now here's something else. This is like a double grace note that I'm going to use before the E, and I'm going to play 2 A's, and I'm going to play them short long, so it'll sound like this. And I'm doing the A with 2 fingers. I'm using my index and my middle, and I'm going short long with them. So there's some different ideas for you to think about. The double grace note works quite well if it's not overdone, and generally I use the note above and play 2 notes short long. Now the second part of the tune, it actually goes into G major, so to emphasize that I actually play some short drones similar to what a piper might play. I'll have to just play the first part again. Now so I was playing in my left hand round a G chord, and I was playing the D on my right, like that, and then later on I played an A drone underneath the D chord. I'll try and do it again for you. There. So I'm playing A, A, D and F sharp in the right, and I'm holding an A drone on my left. And I finished off with a G note on my left hand side, and then played a D on my right hand as a drone underneath. So that's three different kinds of ornamentation that I was using there in the first part. Single grace note, an F sharp above the E, a short roll, what I call a short roll, 2 grace notes, cutting the E with an F and then a D. That's the most difficult one to do at speed. It has to be executed absolutely cleanly, because if it isn't, it can sound slightly discordant. So you have to get those absolutely spot on. An easier one to do is to use 2 grace notes. I would use the A above the E. And I'm doing short long. That's the single grace note. So there's some ideas for you. I have a concertina tutor, www.concertina, concertina tutor available from my website, www.dickmiles.com. There's a song accompaniment tutor and an ordinary concertina tutor. Obviously the ornamentation for the English concertina is going to be different from the Anglo, and the phrasing is obviously going to be quite different because I'm playing a unisonic instrument. So anyway, www.dickmiles.com. Thanks, I hope it's helpful for